Hey folks, y'all see what it say? The city of New York then started passing out flyers at the Tex-Mex border, trying to discourage all these migrants from coming to New York, telling them how expensive it is and that they ain't gonna be able to afford it. And I gotta find the story. Mexico is now they saying that they got a migrant crisis at their southern border and they can't house them and they don't know what to do. I'm going to use an expletive here. Nah, I better beat myself because y'all know how massive gets down. Since Mexico have partaken in the flood themselves and fostered other countries, and now they complain that they don't have the room. Mexico, they president, the people that's helping them, the people that's transporting them, and the families that they coming from. Now, yeah, now what? Okay, exactly. Let's go ahead and go.
Up efforts to slow down the waves of immigrants overwhelming New York City. Mayor Eric Adams' administration will now actually hand out paper flyers at the southern border to try to convince people not to come to Manhattan as they struggle to shelter and care for more than 113,000 new arrivals. And Dre Clark is there live in New York City with more. Dre, in my covering of the border, every single migrant who is apprehended is given this manila envelope. And inside that envelope is paper information telling them how to find an attorney, an immigration attorney, where to report to with ICE to have an appointment for asylum, though that could be years down the road. And now they'll have this flyer from Mayor Adams. Are they working with the federal government in conjunction to make sure that they receive those?
Well, they didn't specify exactly how they plan to hand out those flyers, but this is the second round, if you will. The city did this same kind of thing at the southern border there in Texas in July. And what the mayor and his top deputies are saying on those flyers, telling migrants, please do not come to New York City because the city is too expensive and you are not guaranteed a hotel room or a place in one of the 200 plus shelters that have been set up to accommodate the migrants and asylum seekers. But that's not entirely true because the city does have a right to shelter law, and that law makes it clear that any homeless person who comes forward asking for help, the city has to provide shelter at no cost to that individual. Meanwhile, again, the city.
Does that only apply to illegals or that also applies to American citizens? I'm quite sure that's a rhetorical question, but you know why I ask.
Preparing to launch that canvassing campaign, trying to discourage more migrants from coming here to this city.
We want people to know what New York City is able to provide and what New York City isn't able to provide any longer.
This is a look at the flyers that will be handed out at shelters and nonprofits across the nation and at the southern border in Texas. One of the messages on the flyers warning migrants New York City is one of the.
Okay, let's read it right here. Updates to asylum seekers. Beware of wrong information on social media from human traffickers. Look. The folks is already up there in New York. They're going to tell them folks, don't pay that damn flyer no damn attention. Come on, SA. New York City's resources have been exhausted. Asylum seekers are now getting letters to move out of the shelter. You will not be placed in a hotel. New York City is one of the most expensive cities in the world. What do you mean one of? Well, y'all probably arm wrestling with LA, but yeah, okay. Anyway. You are better off going to a more affordable city. I'd go to Barcelona. I'd leave Venezuela and carry my ass all the way to Barcelona. Y'all think I'm joking? They'd be mad as hell, but I'd blend in. No, that's right. Cause Venezuelans, South and Central Americans tend to be shorter than the European Spaniards. And most European Spaniards, people tell me, what do they look? They're white people. What do you mean they're white people? They're Anglos. But I thought they were no, don't think this Spanish Mexican stuff. Look, don't get it twisted. You got three strains, okay? Caucasoid, Negroid, Mongoloid. Pick one. Yeah, you can blend some, but look, Spaniards are white people. They're European white. They're European Caucasians. Duh. You know, I mean, anyway, forget it. People care. I'm saying that because people be sending me stuff, making comments, and I be laughing on the inside. New York City cannot help you obtain a work permit, and you will not be able to easily find work. Okay, sure. Oh, and then after this one is San Antonio, where I used to live. But San Antonio been on the tipping point with illegals even before this. Well, now look like the cup has runneth over. So, oh yeah, and even though I see, yeah, Mexico having problem at their border, Mexico about ready to start deporting migrants that's waiting trying to get into the U.S. Now look at this. The that started this mother and they bull, but now since they getting the flood, they gonna deport people. But that same El Presidente, sorry ass mother, gonna get up there and grandstand about the United States turning people away, and his mother ass is gonna start deporting people. Let's go, y'all.
Most expensive cities in the world, and you are better off going to a more affordable city. The flyer also saying migrants will not be placed in a hotel if they come to New York City.
We know that there are people in our shelters who are telling their family members to come to New York City and that they'll get housing and that they'll be able to stay with them. That has never been the case, but we want to make sure that we're being clear with people that New York City is out of space.
115,000 asylum seekers and migrants have gone through the city's intake process since spring 2022. It's the second time the city has used flyers to get word out discouraging migrants from coming here. In July, the mayor's administration handed out flyers at the border warning migrants there was no guarantee they would receive shelter placement here in New York. It was hardly a deterrent. 10,000 migrants are still arriving in the city every month. 113,000 people are currently living in the city shelter system, and that includes more than 60,000 migrants.
We definitely do want to discourage people from coming here so that we can pretty much deal with the 113,000 people that are in our system right now.
Over the summer, adult migrants without children were told they would need to find alternative housing or reapply for placement in another city shelter. The shelter evictions were slated to begin last Friday. The city will only say a few hundred people were removed.
Due to the help that we'd given them over the past 60 days, we're able to take their next step forward, exit our system, and not need to re-enter for another placement.
The city has spent more than $2 billion so far caring for the migrants. The mayor, Eric Adams, continues to ask.
$2 billion. $2 billion. Save the children. Get the from down there where you at? Save the children? Are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding me.
Both the state and federal government for emergency funding. The mayor says without that funding, the migrant crisis will destroy New York City.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who takes credit for sending 15,000 migrants here by bus, actually applauded both the mayor and New York Governor Kathy Hochul for pressuring the president, President Biden, to do something about the influx of migrants that are still crossing the border. But for his part, the mayor says Governor Abbott is a madman for still sending migrants to a city that he knows is in crisis. Adrian.
So he a madman for sending illegals to a city that claims that they're a sanctuary city. Sanctuary city. What are you talking about? And Maryland, a sanctuary state. Texas is not a sanctuary state. We just get kicked in the teeth because we share a border with these damn people. That's it. So, okay, dude, notice Adams ain't trying to change the status, that sanctuary status for the city. So, dude, drink you a tall, cool glass. Yeah, of that. There you go. Come on, homeboy, wrap it up.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find new.
Okay, that's good enough. Hold on there, Adrienne. Okay, y'all. Now we're gonna go to the San Antonio story, okay? And then we'll finish up with Mexico with their deportations. All right, let's go ahead and go to San Antonio. Okay, let's see what we got here.
Our top story now at 5, a migrant crisis. Right now, hundreds of migrants in San Antonio are in limbo after the city's Migrant Resource Center reaches capacity. The center says this week they expect 6,000 migrants to come to the facility. But with a capacity of 700 people, there are a lot of questions about what will happen to the others. KENS 5's Mike Jimenez joins us live with what he has learned. Mike?
Hold on a second, Mike. Now, look. This place where they at, I done been to this place more times than I can count. I even done, well, that was on my old channel, a video of where it is. I know exactly where it is. Okay, kick it out, homeboy.
Deborah, since this morning, we have been looking for answers, and we're just not getting.
There ain't supposed to be a color on your tie besides white that would match your shirt. Okay. Wrong tie, homeboy. Wrong tie.
Them. Now, all we can tell you is what we are seeing and hearing from migrants. Many of them are desperate and begging for help. Chaos and confusion is the best way to describe the situation here at San Antonio's Migrant Resource Center. Hundreds of migrants, including children, sitting in the heat with no place to go. We spoke with a mother, Juliana Fernandez, who is here with her 2 small children. She says the shelter will no longer help her.
They won't let me back inside because I've been here 45 days.
Fernandez says she was going to stay with her uncle in Midland, but that's no longer an option because other family members also crossed over the border and are now staying with him. At night, she says she is fearful for her safety.
What, she was going to stay with her uncle in Midland, but that's not possible because other family members crossed over and stayed with him? Is that what homeboy said?
At night, she says she is fearful for her safety. Also crossed stay with her uncle in Midland, but that's no longer an option because other family members also crossed over the border and are now staying with him. At night, she says she is fearful.
I guess it was uncle pulled the first come, first serve on that ass.
For her safety.
I feel bad because I don't have stability for my children.
Last night, we were there when buses of migrants were dropped off at the center, which is at capacity.
We have people outside, as you can see, because we don't have the means to actually take care of them at Catholic Charities.
We also spoke to another migrant who didn't want to go on camera. He was told the resource center can't help him, so he is begging for money, saving up to pay his own way out of San Antonio. As for Fernandez, she is also looking for assistance and answers.
I'm trying to see who can help me.
Go back to wherever you came from, and with the baby's daddy, go back.
And we did reach out to Catholic Charities to.
I'm sorry, it's too damn hot to be wearing a black shirt, man. It's hot. It's hot here. It's over 100 degrees every day. Come on, homeboy. I need to hook him up. He need to hang out with me.
See what is being done about the overflow of migrants. They said no one is available to update us. If you would like to help, we have posted ways on KENS5.com. We did also reach out to the city. Mayor Ron Nuremberg says this is a humanitarian issue and their focus is on compassion. Mike Jimenez, KENS5.
Mike, thank you. Well, the migrant crisis is stretching across the U.S. from coast to coast. Officials in California and New York raising concerns tonight. In California, border agents have dropped off more than 4,000 migrants at a transit center in San Diego County in just the last week. County officials say local migrants.
Y'all see how nice these quote unquote migrants are dressed? North Face backpacks and all kind of stuff, flat brims. Maybe I need to apply for migrant status, man. I want some fresh gear too.
Migrant shelters have already reached capacity. Some officials there are now calling for federal assistance to help manage the situation. In New York, tensions are rising as protesters try to stop migrants from entering a shelter on Staten Island. Tuesday night, protesters greeted.
Yes, Staten Island. Yeah, this ain't. Ooh, yeah. Flat tops ain't having none of this, man. It's going to be hell to pay. But y'all still Democrats to the core. Y'all just a different part of the same party.
Bus of migrants by chanting, "Take them back." There were 20 asylum seekers on that bus, adults and children. 10 protesters were arrested and the migrants were allowed to enter the shelter 5 hours later. The rise in border crossing is impacting train operations. Mexican operator Ferromex is back up and running after suspending services early Wednesday to avoid carrying migrants to the U.S. border. Most of the company's 60 trains remain out of service due to migrant presence in their areas. Ferromex's trains are commonly known as the Beast or the Train of Death due to the dangers migrants face on their long journey from southern to northern Mexico. Our KENS 5 team is dedicated to gathering the latest information on the.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and get this last one up out of here. This one is in about Mexico. Dang it, I screwed up. I cut the story off too soon. My bad.
San Antonio, some of them even sleeping outside the Migrant Resource Center on San Pedro, trying to figure out what their next steps will be.
And just behind that center is a neighborhood. As our Daniela Ibarro explains, some have mixed feelings about their temporary neighbors.
Hey, pull out! Donations of water, juice, and clothing helping migrants survive. It's been a long journey for them to get to San Antonio. Before crossing illegally into the U.S., Jose Carmona traveled through the jungle and by train. He says it's not easy to survive in Venezuela. It's why he and other migrants traveled thousands of miles to get here. He's hoping to get to Kansas for work, but has spent the past few days outside the Migrant Resource Center on San Pedro. Just around the corner is a quiet neighborhood. One neighbor says she wishes the migrants well, but says some have made her feel unsafe.
It's starting to scare me because they're starting to walk down the streets and try to sell you things and ask you for things.
Sandra Maker says this wave of migrants haven't caused her any issues.
I think they deserve a break. They've been through a lot.
As for Carmona, he says his sacrifice is for his parents and 2 kids. He thanks God for getting him to.
Yeah, well, let them move into your house, Sandra. You know, they deserve a lot. Much is given to much deserved, right? Let's go, Sandra.
The U.S., hoping he'll soon receive asylum. Catholic Charities, who's running the Migrant Resource Center, says they don't need any support from the community right now. They say they will need volunteers soon, but they're asking anyone who's calling them to instead go to their website and donate to support humanitarian relief. Reporting in San Antonio, Daniela Ibarra, KSAT 12 News.
Okay, now the Mexican border video. Okay.
Mexico's government says it will start deporting migrants who are now waiting in its northern cities to enter the U.S. The move is meant to reduce the strain on U.S. border crossings as a rising number of migrants arrive from the south. The mayor of El Paso, Texas, says his city is reaching its breaking point. For more on this, we're joined by CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoyo Galvez. Thanks so much for being with us this morning, Camilo. I want to start with asking you how this spike compares to others. I mean, is this unprecedented?
Hi, Chanel. The number of migrants crossing the U.S.-Mexico border without legal permission is nearing record levels. there are about 7,000 migrants crossing the border each day on average. That is a level that we have not seen since December and May of last year, when over 220,000 migrants were apprehended each month during those time periods. And we are on track right now. Border Patrol is on track, Chanel, to record over 210,000 apprehensions in September and the rest of this month. Again, this record influx right now, this near record influx, is being driven by record arrivals of families coming with children, as well as a sharp increase in Venezuelan migrants hoping to reach the U.S. And right now, all indications point to this influx continuing to increase. We're seeing record numbers of migrants cross the notorious Darien Gap in Panama. That is that roadless jungle. The hundreds of thousands of migrants are traversing on foot each year to reach the U.S.
I wonder if you can talk a bit about why we're seeing a spike from those specific countries.
Well, we are seeing right now a global displacement crisis, Chanel, that is unprecedented. 7 million Venezuelans have left that country in recent years. That is the largest refugee crisis ever recorded.
I'll answer the question since won't nobody else answer the question. Honestly, socialism does not work. Venezuela is openly socialist and pushing even harder for socialism. You have one of the major oil producers on the planet in Venezuela, and they broke. They have the ability. No one's stopping them from selling their oil on the open market. Nobody. The Saudis ain't down there kicking them in the head. We ain't kicking them in the head because Side Road Joe done capped our wells down here in the Eagle Ford. The only thing that's still drilling and pumping down here is gas, natural gas, which we still need. I mean, it's something, but your car don't run on natural gas. The construction industry don't run on natural gas. That sludge from the tar from the crude oil that goes on the roof of your house and on the roads don't come from natural gas. It's better than, it's something, but it ain't everything. But yeah, it's socialism. Venezuela is a far left socialist country, and they voted for it. They put it back on the docket and they voted for it. Now they running from what they voted for. Same thing in the United States when it comes to California and Oregon and Seattle, Washington and all. Y'all voted for this goofball. And now that you got the goofball that you voted for, you don't want the goof. And you want to bring your goofball to places that didn't ask for this. Yeah.
Here in the Western Hemisphere, they are fleeing that economic and political instability in that country. We're also seeing record numbers of Nicaraguans, Cubans, and Haitians either take to the sea to try to reach Florida or come to Mexico and other parts of Latin America in hopes of reaching the U.S. These are dire conditions in these countries. We also have pull factors that attract people to the U.S. There is an ample supply of jobs, as you know, in many sectors here. That is attracting a lot of these migrants. And another pull factor, we are told, is the fact that many of these migrants are being released with cases that can take years to complete because of how backlogged the...
Oh, and a couple of places down there are emptying out their prisons. Because we ain't got to feed them. If we throw them and push them up there, we ain't got to take care of them. Somebody, United States can handle or take care of our problem that we couldn't handle ourselves or don't want to handle ourselves. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Use your search engine of choice. There's been Mexican jails, Venezuelan jails, Salvadorian jails that they just emptied them. All right, y'all can stay here, or y'all can get on that mass exodus going up there. Take your pick. Which one you think they're going to take? That's a given. Hell, if I was one, I would take it. Okay, stay here behind these metal bars or take my chances out there. Come on now.
system is here. That also, according to experts, is serving as a major pull factor.
Okay, let's talk about the government's response. What is the Biden administration doing right now to address this crisis?
Well, Chanel, the Biden administration has dispatched an additional 800 active duty troops to assist Border Patrol agents. They will not be apprehending or detaining migrants, but they will be supporting Border Patrol and other Department of Homeland Security personnel in that.
Bull. They ain't supporting no, but wait a minute, wrong button.
Man, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, that's the button I meant.
Logistical role that will provide some relief to Border Patrol so Border Patrol can arrest and detain and process migrants. The other.
And take them where? And put them where? The El Paso yard, the plant is full. The Donna, Texas plant is full. The Fremont, Texas plant facility is full. The Edinburgh facility is full. Yeah, I done the video on Donna, Texas in my old one. I probably need to re-upload that one because ain't nothing changed. Nothing's changed. And that Donna, Texas facility literally just sprung up, just boing, right outside, right away, a walking distance from a brand new apartment complex. And I bet you them people in the apartment like, man, what the heck? What, man, wait a minute, what?
Man, this is some bullshit.
Because that's exactly what I would have said. That's exactly what I would have said.
Move that the administration has taken is now they are trying to expand deportations to several countries, including the Northern Triangle of Central America, including by expanding this program that requires the heads of households of certain families to undergo a nightly curfew as well as wear an ankle monitor while their cases are adjudicated. But again, all of these options for the administration right now are limited, especially when it comes to Venezuelans, because the government there, Chanel, does not accept U.S. deportations.
A very.
So, Venezuela, we don't accept you deporting. Look, Mexico and United States, we don't accept you sending the Venezuelans back to Venezuela. Nope, y'all can't come back. Nope.
Man, this is some bullshit. The world ain't what it seems, is it, Gunny?
No, sir, it ain't.
Fluid situation. Camilla, thank you.
Homeland Security.
Oops, too quick on the draw. I ain't gonna play that, but the title of that one is How the Recent Migrant Surge is Affecting U.S., Mexico, and Central America, and it's CNN. So it's gonna be some bull crap. I ain't paying them no attention. Now that's a good color contrast. That the blue need to be a little lighter because it's blending in. Your suit jacket is sucking it in. He got it. That's it right there. You got it. Need some green on your pocket square though to match your tie, just a little bit. Paisley would have been good. Anyway, tell me what y'all think. Y'all already know what I think. I don't make no bones about it. Y'all be good, be safe. In the empire, I feel the Death Star warming up. I feel it warming up. Y'all be good and be safe. Bye.